Hello, everybody. I'm Joe Crawford of artlog.com. Pretty much every day I go to CSSBattle.dev, do the daily target, and record it. And here's today. Some interesting shapes here, huh? Yeah. So let's do blank template. Blank template is a single paragraph element, and then we twist it and turn it into whatever shape we need. And I think what I want to do here is twist and turn this into, well, I mean, obviously I'm trying to match the target. So the first thing I need to do is set height and margins to put this in the right place. So it's a little taller. This margin should be 30, 40, 50. This margin should be 32. And that's how you fill that. I could submit that. Obviously, that is not at 100%, not by any stretch of any imagination. But it gives me 70% match. That's not good enough. So let's do this left to right. Conic gradient is my favorite of the gradients, and I'll do transparent. Transparent. And I could use keyword transparent, but I'm not going to. Uh, and then blue. And then that, I just need the size of exactly that little widget. And that's at what, 50 pixels, 20 pixels, maybe 30. Great. Maybe at 60 pixels, 60 by 30. And then I put that in the upper corner, 0, 0. And actually, I think I only need 0. And then a width, 200 pixels to 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. So that's now a repeating gradient of very precisely what I want there. Is there other things I could do there? So I've got 75% of that. Maybe I can actually do that at 50%. And then do this to 0, 75%. And then I'll show you what's left over. That's what's left over. So then I need another gradient. I need to fill that in with the rest of it. And can I do that in a way that makes sense with a single gradient? I think not. I think it's too complex a shape. I could add clip paths or other kinds of things to it, but I think if it ends up being several gradients, I think that's fine. I think what I want to do is fill in a linear gradient. Do this as a linear gradient. So let's do linear gradient. Or can I reuse? Nah, I'm just a linear gradient. That's fine. 90 degrees. This blue color. And then it should be transparent after that. Okay, and then we move it over 100 pixels. So I'm doing all the blue, and then I'm going to come in last, and actually be the middle layer. I'll come in last and do the uh, the two beige middle bits. We got 200. How about 170, 160? All right, so that's what's left. What's left is these little beige guys, and for that, what I want is very similar to this. And so I want 75%. And then it's taller. So let's do 130. And I'm going to add a no repeat just to keep myself sane. And then I need not blue. I need that color, plunk. And there we go. Okay, so now I need to move that over. 100. There it is. So this is what I made. So let's move it over a little bit more, 110. and have it be taller, 150, 60, 70, and then less wide. How about 30? How about 20? 20 is perfect. And right now I have a width of 260, and that's too wide. How if I do 20? Oh no, oh, I gotta let it repeat. That's what I gotta do. So now 3, 4, 5. There we go. Now positionally, now we have the repeat. I'm gonna make sure this actually does align. 6, 7, 8, and that does it actually. Not too bad. Let's submit that. I believe that's a 100% match. Our prior submission was 70% match because it's all blue. All right, that's fine. So yeah, is there a particular reason to do this as a paragraph element? Not really, because of the way I kind of did it. So let's minify and unit replace. We'll minify, unit replace. These are plugins available on GitHub, of course, and I'll submit. So if we were to do this without a paragraph element, could we do it? I think yeah. And what's that look like? So we would need no margins and just all background. So to do that, we just do style, right? And do ampersand. And then there's the background. So that's what that looks like if we apply it to an element that doesn't have its heights and widths and whatnot constrained. So is that a mess? Yeah, it kind of is a mess. Kind of fun that way. But if we break it up, so I'll comment out all the secondary parts of it. So would we do it the same way? So right now I've got that, right? So what happens if I move this guy? And I think I can. I'm going to move it over 10, 20, 30, 40. And I move it down with a background position Y, 40 pixels. How about 50? 50, there we go. So we just made that. So not too bad. So what happens with this guy? So we've got a little bit different. So the linear gradient, if I put that in, so the order that I did it in before was I did the linear gradient second. So add a comma. So that's what I made. And for this amount of blue, that's not really what I want. So if that's the case, the efficient way to think about this is to do the little beige guys. So I think I don't want that code at all. Like I don't. I'll keep a copy of it, but I don't think I want it. Okay, so let's do this, and I got a trailing comma. So there's my little little rods of whatever you call it. So now if I've got a width on that, and I think the width is correct. I think what I need to do then is to make this taller. How about 200? That's not too bad. 200, 210, 20, because it's occurring at a different it's occurring at a different position overall. So now what I want to do is, well, I'm going to set this to 0 and see where it lands. 0, maybe 10 pixels, or how about 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 pixels does it. So now I've got that. So now how little code can I write to get just the blue? I find myself very inclined, as per usual, to do a conic gradient. I know I have that linear gradient code sitting right there, but I'll do. So it's beige, 75%, and 0. So there's that guy. And I think, unfortunately, so let's move it over. I was going to say something there, and obviously I didn't. No need to. Okay, so we're going to need to move it down as well. 30, 40, 50. And then it starts at 110, 20. So now I need an at. Our current at is at 50%, 50%, right? So that's the default. So we need it taller and we need it less wide. So let's try some even numbers. How about 40? 40 does it. We like that 40% because we can then delete the space between the two coordinates of the at. And that's kind of a nice thing for code golf. I know that I say I don't care about reducing code very much, and I kind of don't. But in that case, I'll do it. 65, 66, 67. Oh, so this is a case where uh, what I want is 67%, and it's actually probably a 66.6% repeating, right? So that's a decimal. That's too many characters. So let's just do 200 pixels probably. There we go. And that does it. So let's submit that. Make sure it's 100% match from the back end. And I did it 2 ways. I don't think I've done 2 solutions in a few days, but I'm feeling like this is a little fun. So, all right. A final unit replace. I use some new units. Probably this 200 pixels is going to reduce, and a few other values reduce, and that's nice. Probably this 30 VW could be 30%. Nope, it can't be. Oh, because it's a background position. Percentages don't work the same way for background position. So I can't actually do that. Any other changes that I can make there? The 65 VW could be, I think, percent, because that is a width. Are there others? Nah, I think that's fine. Let's minify now, and we just snip off the final brace. Those are the kind of small optimizations that you can do at the end. They make the CSS invalid, and valid CSS code is always going to be more interesting to me because there's something I can learn from that, right? Code golf is great. Love code golf. I do it every day, but code that I can actually put somewhere and deploy to production and put on someone's website or on my own website, that's fun. That's good stuff. Anyway, so that's not too bad. Thanks for watching. Continuing to watch the news and be disturbed by a lot of things happening in the United States. It's more important than ever to be kind to yourself, be kind to each other. Don't take any guff from anybody, and go make a webpage. Talk about it. Bye bye.